Thanks for stopping by, guys. Today, we're going to talk about this KLR650 and the 3 things that you need to know before buying one. Let's get into it.
So, number 1 is rideability. And rideability is one of the best aspects of this motorcycle. It doesn't take a whole lot of know-how or experience to hop on this bad boy and have a good time. That's kind of the point of this bike. It's perfect for beginners. It's perfect for returning riders. It's perfect for even experienced riders that are looking to get into a dual sport motorcycle. It's perfect for commuting, which is what I'm doing right now, and it is just as at home on the dirt as it is on the pavement. Here in a second, I'm going to get on a big highway, and I'm going to cruise at like 75 miles an hour, and this bike will do that all day long. You might have to check your oil level when you stop for gas, but in my particular bike, eats a lot of fuel, eats a lot of gas. It eats a lot of gas, eats a lot of oil, not a ton, but like when if I go on like a 200 or 300 mile ride, and a lot of that is highway, I'll eat like a half quart. Hitting a toll booth real quick. It's gonna be really bad. I don't have a good feeling about this. That was fun. So, rideability. This bike's never going to get you into any trouble with excess power, because the power's dog shit. It's not quick, it's not fast. What it is an unstoppable force. You can take this bike literally anywhere. It's just as at home on the dirt and the gravel and the rocks and the mud as it is on this toll road going 75 miles an hour. I could do this all day, and I mean I have done this all day before. It's not the best. It can be a little buzzy. This isn't like this bike's preferred existence. 5,500 RPM, 75 miles an hour for hours at a time. It's doable. It's definitely not the first bike I would choose for that particular task. That would be my Goldwing, obviously, but it's doable. If you're looking for like a commuter, this isn't a bad choice. If you've got like a short jump from home to work, this bike's a lot of fun to ride. If you've got, I ride 50 miles each way, and I do it not terribly often on this bike. The Goldwing's just kind of more suited for it, but rideability, like any skill level, this bike is just like your foot in the door of dual sport motorcycling. It's like I said, it's just never going to get you in trouble, and it's just infinitely easy to ride. A beginner could hop on this bike and feel comfortable. Somebody coming back into motorcycling after years would feel comfortable on this bike. And even someone who's experienced. If you're going from a street bike to wanting to ride off-road more, and you don't have a lot of experience off-road, but you've got a lot of experience on bikes in general, this bike is a perfect choice. Especially for the price point. This bike I found with like 24,000 miles on it, well maintained, and I got it for like $3,600. So for the money, it's a steal, man. You really can't beat it. And that's why the number one reason to own a KLR is rideability. Number two is community. This motorcycle, I've owned a lot of bikes. I've had cruisers, I've had sport bikes, I've had enduro dual sport motorcycles, and they all have their followings, and they all have their cult statuses, but there is no community in motorcycling I've ever been a part of that's as die hard about a particular bike as the KLR community is. And there's no community that's more helpful, that's more knowledgeable, and you know, you're probably going to need their help, you know, with certain parts of this motorcycle. There's little idiosyncrasies with this bike that you know, without the guy or gal that came before and figuring it out the hard way, you know, we'd all be sitting here scratching our heads about certain issues, you know, whatever they might be. But the KLR community, you know, whether it be like at any forum, the YouTube community, they're all super helpful, and there's just a bajillion videos and discussion boards about excuse me, about any particular issue, or just, you know, people wanting to ride together or meetups. But really, the community for the KLR 650 is like none other in motorcycling, in my personal opinion. So that's what makes this bike so special to me, is just the fact that it's loved by so many people. It's also probably hated by quite a few people, because it's you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. You know, it's dog slow, you know, it doesn't look the best, but what it lacks in performance and styling, it makes up for in, you know, lovability. I love this motorcycle. It's another one of the bikes that I'll just never get rid of. Third and final reason you might want to own a KLR 650, certainly not the last reason, honestly, it's probably the number one reason, is reliability. And its reliability is famous, notorious. It's notoriously reliable. You know, to the nth degree, this bike will undoubtedly get you where you want to go. It won't do it quickly, and it won't do it with you know, much fanfare, but it'll definitely get you there. Even if something were to go wrong with this bike, it's you know, it's so utilitarian that there's only a few things that could be wrong. The big three, as it were: air, fuel, and spark. Those are pretty much the three things that you need for this bike to run. You know, even if one of those is not, you know, running top notch. Actually, this bike right now is running sort of shitty, and I haven't figured out which one it is yet. I've replaced the spark plug and the coil. These things don't have a traditional fuel filter. They've got a filter like in one of the lines that like is not known to clog. So you know, I know I'm getting fuel. I ran some seafoam through it, and it's still running a little weird. So next I'm gonna go clean the air filter and whatnot. But I mean, as you can see, it's running weird, but she's a running. So third and final, but not last or least, reason or thing to know about a KLR is reliability. It's second to literally no other bike on the planet. It's like an AK-47, man. This is the Kalashnikov of motorcycles. You can run it through the dirt, through the mud. You can sink it in a bog. I think, you know, famously, that's a Fortnite video where they sank, albeit a much older version of this bike, in a lake But you know, I think it ran afterwards, so that's the third reason, the third thing to know before buying a KLR 650. And you know, give it a shot, man. You're not going to be disappointed. I guarantee it.
If you're unsure whether or not you should buy a KLR 650, go do it. Buy the bike, have fun in the dirt, and I'll see you in the next one.